We've got an award show, and we've got people watching at home who couldn't be here, so I don't want to keep them waiting indefinitely. So we are here to present the Marketing Automotive Awards, and this is Lisa. You guys know Lisa. She was one of the jurors, and we spent a lot of time looking at a lot of work in order to come up with these
very hard decisions.
Yeah, we had more submissions this year than I think we've ever had before. So the first award goes to Automotive Marketer of the Year. Oh, here's the jury. Okay, there we are. Good group of folks. And we actually presented the first award earlier in the day to Matt Van Dyke. He was our Automotive Marketer of the Year, but I did want to go ahead, since you guys are here, and show you one of the pieces of work that influenced that decision. So let's go ahead and watch We Built Them a Truck.
Americans wanted a faster horse, so we built them a car. Then they needed a car that worked harder than a car, so we built something else. The truck. Americans said, okay, now we're getting somewhere. And they used our trucks to build interstates, and families, and communities, and industries, livelihoods, and neighborhoods. And in their spare time, tow really heavy things. Americans needed vehicles worthy of who they are and what they can do. So, we built them a truck.
Congratulations again to Matt.
Congratulations, Matt. Awesome. All right, so now we have for Best Integrated Campaign, 3 channels or more. Is that the one that you just did?
No, we're doing Automotive Agency of the Year Traditional.
And
Yes, Automotive Agency of the Year Traditional.
Oh, okay.
Is Hudson Rouge.
That's what happens when you use electronics. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sorry about that.
That's why I'm old school and I got the piece of paper, okay?
Automotive Agency of the Year Traditional. Thank you, Tanya. And the winner is Hudson Rouge for Ford Motor Company's Lincoln brand. And unfortunately, they can't be with us, but we created a special video, or they created a special video for us to watch. So take a look.
Comfort in the extreme.
More than ever, your home is your sanctuary. That's why Lincoln offers complimentary pickup and delivery servicing for eligible owners.
We had such a good start. People had said it felt like we'd been open for years. When COVID hit, it was surreal.
I love this combination of home and Lincoln.
I still do take those drives to nowhere in particular, other than the Navigator.
Celebrate
where we can. Double down on what we have to be thankful for. Double down on that gratitude. It's fine to talk to yourself. It's fine to ask the questions to yourself. Hey, say them out loud. Answer yourself, though. You don't have to have the right answer. Talk to yourself, answer yourself, spend time. If you stick to it, you will eventually start to enjoy the company that you're keeping up here.
And we've got one more quick video.
Hi, it's John Pierce, and I just wanted to say thank you to MediaPost and the Marketing Automotive Awards for this honor. I really wish I could have been there in person to accept it at the LA Auto Show, but do so virtually on behalf of Hudson Rouge. I think 2020 was definitely a tough one for all of us, and I'm just pleased that we had a brand positioning for Lincoln in the power of sanctuary that we could execute to consistently through the year. Probably more scrappily than we would have had there not been a total lockdown. So thanks to the judges for seeing that consistency, and again, really, really appreciate it.
Congratulations again to Hudson Rouge for our Automotive Agency of the Year Traditional. And then the next one is Automotive Agency of the Year Digital, which goes to MRM for General Motors. MRM is part of McCann World Group and the Interpublic Group of Agencies and has worked on the GM business for 14 years. And they continue to expand their work on GM, which was a large part of why they ended up getting this award, because they're now working on just about everything that GM does digitally. Chevrolet.com, GMC.com, Buick.com, Cadillac.com, and they were recognized by J.D. Power in their 2021 U.S. Manufacturer Website Evaluation Study. And unfortunately, the folks at MRM could not be here because of travel restrictions, but I have promised that I will be taking the award back home to Detroit, and we are going to have a little party of our own. So, and you all can come to that too. I'll send you invites to that if you'd like to come. We'll have more cocktails.
Okay, now for Best Integrated Campaign, 3 channels or more. The winner is Ford Bronco's Built Wild. And Matt, of course, earlier talked a lot about the goats. And as much as I love goats and would love to show it again, we're actually going to show a different spot for Bronco's Wild Manifesto. So if we can play that.
There's still some wild out there. Those grayed out sections on maps that map makers haven't gotten to yet. Places where cell service and calendar reminders don't exist. But you have to get out there and look for it. And to look for it, you need something that's just as wild as the wild. You need something that can look adventure in the eye and give it a firm handshake. Something built with the toughness of an F-Series and the spirit of a Mustang. Something that's not happy until it takes you through whatever creek or snow or mud or mountain trail or dune, logging road or landmark with death in its name. You need a Bronco. Built as wild as what you're looking for.
Well, as we mentioned, we gave Matt the award to take home, but he also took home for his partners, WPP, excuse me, Wyden Kennedy, and Disney Creative Works. So congrats to all three.
Next up is Best Social Campaign, and we had a very unusual situation in that the jury actually deadlocked, and we couldn't decide. So we gave it to both. I mean, more awards, you know, everybody loves awards. More awards for everybody, right? So the winners were Stellantis Jeep for their pale blue dot, which honored Carl Sagan, and then Subaru with the underdogs and Carmichael Lynch. So let's go ahead and watch the video from Subaru.
Subaru presents The Underdogs. They may have lost an eye, or their hearing, or their youthful good looks, but there's a lot of things these remarkable dogs haven't lost, like their ability to lick, wag, and love with the best of them. Join Subaru in helping underdogs find a loving home and celebrate all dogs during our 3rd annual National Make a Dogs Day.
Congratulations to Subaru. And it is my pleasure to bring the folks from Subaru and Carmichael Lynch up on stage to accept the award and to chat for a moment with me. So I'd like to welcome up Brian Cavalucci, Associate Director of Advertising at Subaru of America, joined by Carmichael Lynch CEO Marcus Fisher and Executive Creative Director Randy Hughes. So come on up. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
On behalf of Subaru and our friends and partners at Carmichael Lynch, thank you very much for this award.
Well, if you could talk for just a minute about the work. I mean, everybody knows you guys are the dog, agency and automaker. So how did that come about, and why does it work for you, and why are you going to keep doing it forever, I hope?
Yeah, that's a good question. So Subaru and our retailers have been longtime supporters of pets and animal welfare. We care a lot about giving animals a good home and helping to find dogs and animals in shelters a loving home. So we've been doing that for a long time through our Subaru Share the Love event and also through our Love Promise event called Subaru Loves Pets, which happens every October. But as you know, we also have some great creative work that our friends and partners here at Carmichael Lynch help us create, whether it's a story about a Subaru owner and their dog or about our dog family, the Barkleys, through our Dog Tested, Dog Approved campaign. So a couple of years ago, we were doing a commercial that we called Dream Weekend. It was about a Subaru owner and his 14-and-a-half-year-old dog. It was kind of a bucket list type of weekend where he was going out and giving this dog the weekend of its life to kind of celebrate that dog. And we were shooting that commercial, and Randy came over and said, "Hey, I think we've got something really special here." And we were chatting literally as we were filming that spot, and Randy kept saying, this is going to be really special. And through that, we launched this initiative called Make a Dog's Day. And it was really about doing something special for your dog. It was really about doing something special for these dogs that love us every day and doing something special for them. So we created some videos and some content around that, and we put it out in the world through our media partners, and it was very successful. But we kept asking, what more could we do? And through our partnership with the ASPCA, they said, hey, listen, one of the things that we have a lot of trouble with is getting these hard-to-adopt dogs to find them homes. So these are dogs that are senior dogs. These are dogs that are blind or deaf or maybe an amputee or maybe just a little bit funny-looking. And they said, if there's anything that you can do to kind of help get this word out, to get these kinds of special dogs that just have so much love to give a loving home, that would be wonderful. So we took that idea to our partners at Carmichael Lynch, and Randy and his team created this idea around the underdogs and really celebrating them, not showing them for what they can't do, but showing them for what they can do. And we created this commercial called, The Underdogs, which you just saw the third version of. And we got that out into the world through our media partners and through our social campaigns and through some really great content. And people love it. So it really helps show that Subaru doesn't just care about selling cars. They care about making the world a better place, and through finding these hard-to-adopt dogs a loving home. And I'm sure Randy could probably give you a little bit more on the creative as well.
Well, I want to give each of you the mic for a minute if you want to thank people or say anything, because, it's an award show. So.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for honoring Subaru and for recognizing the work. It's really a great campaign to work on. It's one of our favorite campaigns to work on, but this is one of those campaigns that takes everyone at Subaru really just kind of coming together. It's the definition of teamwork. It's the definition of coming together for a great cause. Again, our partners at Carmichael Lynch coming up with some really amazing creative and media plans and social campaigns. But really, it really comes from the top down, from Tom Dahl and our executive team giving us the freedom to go out and make this great work and saying, hey, this is something that we should continue doing. We wouldn't be able to do it without them. And again, I'm going to give it to my friend Randy here to talk about some of the creative, because we wouldn't be able to do it without them and some really amazing creative teams at our agency. So here you go, Randy.
Yeah, it's just a pleasure to work with a client like this that truly cares. They say you can judge a society by how they treat the most vulnerable. And this is like a demonstration of it's not just a surface thing with pets. This runs deep. They mean it, and they invest in it. They spend a lot of money to try to help, and it's an honor to work on it. And, we have a ton of people back home who all contribute to this. It's a very big program, and I'm just very proud of all of them. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you all, and thank you for being here. And people back at home, I'm sure they enjoyed the video, and they'll keep watching for more. So, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Now for Best Multicultural and Interest Group. That goes to a campaign done by for Toyota. It was done by Connell, and we'll bring up them just in a minute, but I just want to tell you a little bit about the ad itself, the spot. It's really heartwarming, and it's all about bonding and bringing families together. And it's with the RAV4s featured, but what's really cool is the whole thing, because they were dealing with the pandemic, like many of you had to go through, but it was all done through CGI. So let's take a look. That was great. So let me bring up Connell's Chief Creative Officer, Gustavo Sarkis, so he can accept the award. Yay. Yeah, that's great. First, we'll get the award given in photo. Okay, well, hi, nice to meet you. Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
And I mean, I just want to say, as I said, I think it's so cool. You really believe that they were, you felt heartwarming, even though they were caricatures. Talk about that in terms of doing this during the pandemic. So many restrictions. I mean, you can't even get together with your team. Totally. What was that like for you, and what did you learn from it? I mean, I'm sure you became a little bit more efficient, what everyone's been talking about. Talk about that.
Absolutely. Well, the thing about Hispanics during the pandemic, you know, that 2020 was a rough year for everyone, but it hits Hispanics harder because a lot of us Hispanics were on the front lines, working, you know, as nurses, you know, drivers and all of that. So a lot of them didn't have the luxury of working from home. So, you know, overall, we're feeling vulnerable and in the need of something that Hispanics cherish the most, which is togetherness. So through the pandemic, you know, by the end of the year, Toyota wanted to send a message of togetherness to the Hispanic community. So that's why we came up with this idea. And then to your point about what's the learnings, one of the biggest learnings that we had for the pandemic is like how you have to adjust your structure in order to be nimble, to be flexible, to be always ready to pivot when you need to. So this was one example of that. Because one of the curious things about this spot is that it was meant to be a live action shoot, right? And then we were all concerned about how we're going to go through the pandemics and all shooting restrictions and all of that, and also comply with the budget, and everything was so much more expensive during that time. So we had this idea, so why don't we do an animation? So this is going to be all 100% COVID safe, and you know, we're going to be able to comply with budget and all of that. But when we did that, what really helped us in that point is that it came as being something that went for the better because it was much more heartwarming. You could see the magic coming through. So that's why we were so happy with the results there.
Yeah. Did that surprise you that you were going to be just as happy, maybe even more happy by doing it this way?
It was a big surprise. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, if you have anyone to thank, let me hand the mic over to you if you'd like.
Well, I just like to thank our clients, Toyota, you know, for all the support, you know, throughout these years, being such partners and always pushing us to get better work out there. So thank you.
And you're obviously doing that. So thanks again. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Best Viral Marketing Campaign or Execution. And the award goes to Honda for their Superb Owls, which was created by RPA. And it was a Super Bowl activation like no other. So the brand playfully moved the B in bowl to the end of super and came up with Superb Bowl. So when people used the hashtag on Twitter during Super Bowl Sunday, a custom owl emoji would appear adjacent to the hashtag. And even prior to the game, the Superb Owl activation was being discussed by the Reddit community. So we already gave the award earlier in the program to Ed Beadle, who Lisa interviewed. So congratulations again to RPA, and thank you for making the Super Bowl more than just a football game.
Great. Congrats again. All right, for Best Integrated Execution or Campaign, Infinity USA's Work From Home, Work From Wherever won. And it was done by Critical Mass, and it was done in the early stages of the pandemic. Everyone is working from home. So obviously the commute changes, everyone's behavior changes. So this was really something they wanted to give a little bit of optimism to people, but to obviously, take note of that people are not commuting anymore. So they had them do social, whereas they would do pictures of them commuting, however that may be, and they also would tag them as well, so to tag Infinity. So let's take a look at that video.
No, there's no video. No
Never
video.
mind. We don't have that video, so
yeah, there wasn't a video. It was just a social
unfortunately, they couldn't make it, but it's Phil York, Wendy Orthman, and the entire Infinity marketing team. They couldn't make it because they are in Yokohama, Japan, so it would have been a little of a hike. And also Critical Mass there in Toronto, Canada, and they couldn't make it, but they all say thank you.
Darn COVID. Hopefully next year in New York, we'll all be there. I'm hopeful, fingers crossed. So next up, actually the last award of the program goes to Best Campaign Activation for a Dealer Group, and the winner was the Do Good Auto Coalition, which was created by the Constellation Agency. And it was really an unconventional dealer activation that involved multiple automakers actually working together for the good of humanity. And the Do Good Coalition Do Good Auto Coalition was created as a nonprofit inspired by the pandemic and designed to help dealerships unite and support lending vehicles to get supplies, food, and love to projects and people who need it the most. Sponsors included Maserati and NBC Universal, and their motto was "Love wins always," which is kind of a fitting way to end our awards ceremony. So thank you to all who were able to attend in person, and for those of you at home who were unable to, we'll get your awards to you. And congratulations to everybody, and thanks for a great day.